Hi, let's discuss about poverty in third world countries. My questions in this slide is, are we really poor or imposed poor? We are going to discuss about general setting and historical background of poverty, material perceived view of the poverty, emotional perceived view of the poverty, socially perceived view of the poverty, psychologically perceived view of the poverty, economically perceived view of the poverty, and identification of the poverty, that is 20 January 1948. As you know, which poor are we talking about? The World Bank's poverty, that is $1 or $2 earning per day. The UNDP's poverty, that is Human Development Indicator. The UNICEF's poverty, that is status of women and children. Or the ILO's poverty, that is status of labor, women and children. The UNESCO poverty, the status of heritage and culture in the country. The WHO's poor, status of health and HIV/AIDS. The FAO's poor, calories intake, that is around 2800 per day. Or the UNFPA's poor, that is population. WFP they use indicator food. UNEP they use environment in measuring the poverty. So my question is, which poor are we talking about in these days? Forget about all this poverty. Let's practically think. It is emotionally perceived view of poverty? Is it psychologically perceived view of poverty? Or socially perceived view of poverty? Or materialistic poverty are we talking about? Which poor are we talking about? But what I think is, in my own thinking process, I don't know whether you will accept me or not. I think poverty should be defined from system approach, because poor are not poor but were made poor. They have got voices but made suppressed. They have energy but that is being exploited, so that all victimized people are poor and all poor are victims of the system fault in the country. Poverty doesn't come by birth, it is an acquired situation in the country. The circumstances in the nation are the major factors where people can flourish or deteriorate. I don't know whether you accept my system approach or not, but will you accept me? If you accept me, poor are products of difficult circumstances. The circumstances are the products of false systems. The false systems are the products of wrong men in decision-making process. Wrong men in leadership are the products of poor people's votes. Poor people made wrong decisions in selecting the best among the worst leaders and gave them consent for ruling over themselves, which is product of low level of awareness about the civic rights among poor communities. You are victims of system fault, but not poor. Low level of awareness, therefore, is the product of lack of good education, because education makes people easy to enslave, easy to lead but difficult to enslave. The education under colonized developed countries or developing countries, particularly in the Indian subcontinent, doesn't emphasize in identifying the inner potentiality. Rather, it produces exact photocopies going through memorization based courses. The lack of proper education eventually is the result of fault in the existing systems in the country. What difference we need at individual level in order to overcome poverty? The difference is attitude of the people, framed along the years by the education and the culture. On analyzing the behavior of the people in developed countries, we found that the great majority follow the following principles in their lives, that is, integrity, responsibility, respect to the laws and rules and rights of the others, work loving, striving for saving and investment, and will for super action. What we need at individual level in order to develop the poverty, that is, deconstruction. I mean to say, Deconstruction meant leadership with the nation building visions. All political parties share visions and goals. Empower public watchdog groups. Readiness for change among the stakeholders. Then we can overcome or reduce or eradicate the poverty in the country. The conclusion is system reform with good leadership are main factors for development of Japan and other four tiger countries. It means we need good leadership and willingness and commitment in the people as well as leaders. Right now, let's visualize, only talk about potentiality. You give me hope, I'll give you alternatives. What we will get? We will get it. Just dream and proactively act for it in order to eradicate the poverty in the country. FDI, entrepreneurship, employment, market, access to WTO, and attract foreign direct investment in the country. Good system. Let's implement, build, operate, maintain system in Himalayan, hydropower, irrigation, road sectors. Advertisement. Let's advertise globally about tourism, culture, religion, ethnicity, language. Ambassador, citizenship, headquarters, conference centers, and destination. Make your country destination for education, health, mountaineering centers, especially for Nepal. Accept the modernization, globalization, and liberalization. We have 3 M's and attract more 3 M's. Please give me your thali and gali at last. Thank you very much.